Hello and welcome to Access Asia. I'm Yuka Hoye. Coming up in this edition, writers are increasingly at risk around the world, and China tops the number of people jailed for expressing their opinions. The world's largest elections continue. We take a look at the campaign online and how some videos are causing a stir. What do Olympic stadiums tell us about the times we live in? We meet the architect behind Tokyo's National Stadium. 339, that's the number of writers jailed around the world in 2023, according to a new study by PEN America. Around one-third of them are in China, where authorities have been intensifying their crackdown on dissent. For the first time, the number of jailed writers in the country surpassed 100 on the NGO's Freedom to Write Index. We spoke to Karen Karlaker from the organisation.
What we did see is, I would say, a particular increase in the number of writers being jailed for their online commentary. So these are people who write opinion and commentary and analysis on online platforms, because that really is one of the main avenues for the ability to express dissenting views in China. And this could be sort of criticism of government policies. It could be calls for more democracy or human rights. And so those are the types of issues that generally get writers in trouble in China. The other thing that has affected the numbers in China in recent years is Hong Kong and the crackdown in Hong Kong as well. So what we have seen is, in the wake of the national security law being passed a year or two ago, now writers are being charged under that law. So we have people like Jimmy Lai in Hong Kong, a writer and publisher, a journalist. He's facing significant jail time in Hong Kong. So we are seeing a rise in the numbers from Hong Kong as well.
People jailed for their online expression are typically detained under the vague charge of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. And like in Hong Kong, some autonomous regions are increasingly targeted. Uyghur writers in the northwestern Xinjiang region make up a third of the total jailed writers in China.
China is particularly, I think, harsh in its clampdown and crackdown on dissent. I mean, we have writers like Ilham Tohti, the Uyghur economist and blogger who is serving a life sentence for his peaceful expression. We have writers who have died in custody in China, like Liu Xiaobo a few years ago, who were not given medical care. And we have a large number of writers and cases who are serving very extreme sentences. These are sentences of 10 years, 15 years in prison, for their peaceful writing and expression. And so that is, I think, China remains an outlier in terms of its extreme crackdown on all types of dissent, and especially also the sort of really clampdown on all types of expression, even coming in and out of some of the autonomous regions. So Xinjiang is particularly, it's even hard to get information out about writers being jailed and kept behind bars.
India's multi-phase general election is underway, with phase 1 and 2 of voting over and 5 more to go. This means there's still weeks left before the results are declared in June. France 24's Leela Jacinto has been looking at recent online campaigning and some controversies flaring up. Hi, Leela.
Hi.
So, Leela, this week, Instagram removed a video for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's party. Tell us what happened.
Well, it was taken down on May 1st after a number of Instagram users flagged it for hate speech content. But while the video is not available on Instagram, it is still widely circulating on WhatsApp. And here's the thing about this video. It is incendiary, but it was not done by an over-enthusiastic BJP supporter. This was on the official handle of the Modi's party, the BJP. And, the narrative pretty much follows the script. It's a point-by-point reiteration of a speech that Prime Minister Modi himself made last month on the campaign trail. Now, of course, India's use of online platforms, its extensive use is not new. And this is primarily on mobile phones. More than 2/3 of India's billion-strong population have WhatsApp, have smartphones. And so these videos continue to circulate.
So what was so contentious about the deleted video clip?
Well, basically, what it does is that it takes Modi's use of pejorative stereotypes of Muslims to demean the opposition Congress party. And, this message is very clear in the video when you see an animated Rahul Gandhi from the opposition Congress party holding up the manifesto, the 2024 manifesto of the Congress Party, which morphs into the crescent moon and star symbol of the pre-independence Muslim League, which led the creation of Pakistan. So for Hindu nationalist base of Modi's, they see the colors and symbols of the Pakistani flag, and they clearly get the message that the Congress is a Muslim appeasing party. This is not based on facts at all, but facts hardly matter. And what a lot of misinterpreted facts in this video, including what Modi says that the Congress manifesto apparently promises to go into the houses of Hindus, confiscate the gold jewelry of Hindu women, and redistribute it to Muslims. And, you know, the depiction of Hindus and Muslims follow real stereotypes. So Modi refers to Muslims in his speeches as infiltrators, not fellow citizens. And the video extends this stereotype further by showing Muslims as conquering soldiers in medieval armor, screaming into battle and looting the conquered people. None of this is based on facts, of course, and the Hindus, in contrast, are shown as the victims, which is a peculiar claim to make for a majority which comprises 80% of the population in a democracy.
And does the opposition also use animated videos?
Oh, yes, it does. A popular one is called the washing machine. This basically focuses on what the opposition calls tax terrorism, which is targeting opposition politicians by corruption and tax evasion fraud by the country's powerful enforcement directive. Now, the washing machine phenomenon refers to what happens when opposition politicians who are facing financial investigations leave their already weakened opposition parties to join Modi's BJP. When that happens, something magical happens. They automatically and mysteriously get cleared of all these investigations, which is what the washing machine is about. They come out clean. Let's take a look at a little clip of this video. So this people laundering video is sung to a very popular 1980s Bollywood tune, and the words keep talking about the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI, which is India's FBI. Now, it must be said that Modi's speech was flagged to the Election Commission, who issued a notice to the BJP about the speech, and the Congress also was issued a notice for breach of the Election Commission's moral code of conduct. But while these notices are issued, other politicians from the BJP continue to make these claims on the campaign trail, which are picked up and they continue to circulate in videos online.
Leela, thank you for that update. As Paris gears up for the Summer Olympics, a new exhibition in the French capital is showcasing two monumental sporting venues built in Japan half a century apart. The legacy of the Tokyo Games highlights the works of two of Japan's best-known architects, the late Kenzo Tange and Kengo Kuma, and explores the influence they have had on the country's modern architecture, as well as their ties with France. I went to check it out and had a conversation with Mr. Kuma himself. It was a visit in 1964 to a brand new national gymnasium that inspired Kengo Kuma to become an architect. Designed by Kenzo Tange for the Olympics, the structure stood high like a symbol of Japan's post-war industrial prowess. 5 decades later, it was Kuma who designed the new national stadium for the 2021 Tokyo Games. Made with timber and planted with trees, its goal is to be less visible and blend in with the surrounding nature.
Tange attempted to create a new environmental design by combining Japanese traditional architecture with Western architecture. I focused more specifically on a key feature of Japanese traditional architecture, wood. I thought that reviving timber could provide one solution to environmental issues.
Working with organic materials to replace cold, man-made concrete has been at the core of Kuma's architectural philosophy.
I grew up in an old wooden house built before the Second World War. It had a completely different feel from my friends' houses that were made of concrete and steel. Growing up in that soft, warm atmosphere has been the source of creativity for me. A desire to reintroduce that natural texture into urban buildings formed the foundation of my architecture.
Just as the aftermath of the Hiroshima bombing influenced Tangei's works, the Great Hanshin earthquake of 1995 and the 2011 East Japan quake and tsunami had a profound impact on Kuma and his view on urban design.
Everything was reduced to nothing. Witnessing how humans were powerless before the force of nature and lost everything they'd built served as a starting point for my creation. We're living in a time when war, natural disasters and other major crises are threatening to bring human society back to nothing. I think we are at a key juncture to reflect on human nature once again.
The architect believes that the days of larger-than-life skyscrapers are coming to an end and wants to focus more on human-scale structures in harmony with nature. That exhibition runs through the 24th of June at the Maison de la Culture du Japon here in Paris. And that's it for this week's Access Asia. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned if you can to France 24.